Good morning. Welcome to our E3 Weekly Market Report. I'm Pat McClatchy. We are having the export report just coming out now as we speak. We'll look at that, then we'll look at our crop report that came out Monday and also some perspective on some of these markets. Let's first look at cotton. The numbers just coming out on cotton. We've got, let me double check that. We've got 127,900 bales. It's a good number, but that is down 13% from the previous week, but up 32% from the 4-week average. Vietnam took 35,300 running bales. Turkey took 31,100. China took 11,200. Let's look out for next year to see if we can see just very small numbers for 2016, 2017. Now, cotton was up 5 just before this number came out. Right now, cotton is unchanged, so no real reaction there. Let's next go to soybeans. Net sales of 1,297,000 metric tons. That's up 98% from the previous week, but down 14% from the prior 4-week average. China took 1,166,200. Indonesia took 110,200. Germany took 88,600. Looking at 2016, 2017, 22,800, so not much showing there. Let's look at the reaction of the market. Just before the report, soybeans were down 5.5. Right now, soybeans are down 3.25. So we are firming up some off of that. Let's go now to corn. Corn sales of 618,600 metric tons. That's up 11% from the previous week and up 17% from the 4-week average. Unknown destinations took 246,500. Mexico took 101,600, and Japan took 77,400. Very light numbers. 22,000 was the net sales for 2016, 2017. Corn was down 1.5 pennies just before the number came out. Right now, corn is down 0.5. Not much reaction, but firming up some. Wheat net sales of 226,670 metric tons. That's up noticeably from the previous week, but down 38% from the 4-week average. The Philippines took 66,500. Mexico took 42,900, and Israel took 29,100. Still looking for any other light sales of 10,000 metric tons for 2016, 2017 delivery. Reaction, wheat was unchanged just as the number came out. Right now, wheat's up 0.75 cents. So that's what we've got for the export sales just coming out. Let's take a look at the crop progress report that came out on Monday. Cotton harvested in the U.S. was 58%. The average for this time of the year is 65%. Specifically looking at Texas, 53% of the crop is harvested versus the average this time of the year of 56%. Soybeans are mostly harvested now at 95%. The average for this time of the year is 93%. Corn is mostly harvested at 93% harvested versus the average this time of the year of 88%. And wheat, 92% of the crop's planted and 80% of it's emerged, and that's pretty normal. Let's look at price perspectives for cotton and soybeans and corn. Let's first start with cotton. We've got December cotton over the last 2.5 months has had a range of 499 points. A high of 64.69 made October the 22nd, a low of 59.70 made September the 24th. The midpoint of that range is 62.20, and we've been spending a lot of time at that level or just below it. Forecast, what to expect. This comes from various analysts. More sideways action as we look at the market, and we've been sideways for some time. Support in the 60 to 61 level basis to December, and you'd also say the March. Resistance in the 64 to 65 level. There could be a big move in cotton, but that will probably come later, maybe at planting time or just after planting time, and the possibility of a move up towards 70 or even higher. Suggestions for people we're hearing: if you've sold your crop, it might not be a bad idea to look at buying it back, buying calls or some different strategies somewhere in the area of 60 to 61. January soybeans. January soybeans have had, over the last 3 months, a price range of 73.5 cents. It saw a high on October the 14th of 923.5 and a low of November the 10th at 850. The midpoint there is 886 3/4. Right now we're trading at 860.5. Forecast: look for the market to bounce from these levels back toward $9. Support in the 840 to 850 level, and resistance in the $890 to $9 level. Market's oversold, and with possibly having better demand coming here shortly, so we could bounce. Suggestion there: if you've sold your beans, look at the possibility of buying that back on the board. Corn price perspective. Looking at December corn, over the last 3 months, we've had a range of 43 3/4 cents with a high of 399 3/4 and a low of 356. The midpoint there is 377 3/4, and right now December corn is at 362. Let's see, support at 350 to 360, resistance at 385 to 390. Much like soybeans, the market's at lower levels. Just made a couple of days ago long-term lows. That market is held, and it's started to rally off those lows. So short covering and following also the bean market could lead to this market bouncing. Suggestion: if you sold your corn, look at possibly buying it back through options on the board at these lower levels. That's really it. We've had a number of different economic numbers coming out at 7:30. Not ag numbers, but nevertheless, they have an effect on ag. We've got PPI, we've got retail sales, and let's look at the reaction there. Just before this came out, the dollar was up 23. Now the dollar's up 19. Crude oil was down just before the release of these numbers, was down 11 cents a barrel. Right now it's down about 20. Gold was unchanged. Right now gold's up 50 cents. And the S&P was up 4.0, and right now it's, down 4.0, and right now it's down 4.8. That's it. Thanks for joining us for the E3 Weekly Market Report. We hope you have a good day, and join us later in the day for our wrap-up.